Hello, and welcome to another Wrestling Tea Tarot, where we look beyond the kayfabe, beyond the booking, try to find the real truth in the world of professional wrestling. Of course, this is for entertainment purposes only. We do not have any actual information from the WWE or AEW or any other wrestling promotion. We just love professional wrestling, we love tarot, and we love combining the two to put together stories beyond the surface level of what goes on in pro wrestling. I am Jude. I'm with my partner Calypso Vibes. It is the eve of WrestleMania 39, and we are taking a look at the Night 1 matches, making some predictions, reviewing the storylines, and just trying to get a feel for how things are going to shake out tomorrow in Los Angeles. The match I'm specifically looking at now is the father-son contest between Rey Mysterio and Dominik Mysterio. I've already drawn 8 cards to get us started, to look at kind of the background and overall feelings surrounding this match from a deck called the Yin Yang Oracle. And let's just jump right in and see here. We've got the Reunion and Soul Ties card. This shouldn't be a surprise. We're talking about a father and son who, after Dominik's all grown up, he finally gets to rejoin his father or join his father in the WWE. They had, I think it looks like a great experience working together, winning the tag titles together, having some high-profile matches, until Dominik joins the Judgment Day, has a sort of heel turn, brings up his past, his suffering, the lack of having Rey around for him as he was growing up. And during this time, bring up a lot of memories and really playing to the nostalgia element of the late Eddie Guerrero. Of course, Dominik wears Eddie's hairstyle. He does several of Eddie's moves. Rhea Ripley, who is his kayfabe girlfriend, wears the I'm Your Mommy t-shirt, referencing Eddie's I'm Your Poppy merch. Because even though not many people like Dominik because he's a heel and because he's, still very green in the business, people love Eddie. So, I don't know, this was sort of low-hanging fruit to kind of pluck at our heartstrings about Eddie, but it is what it is. Throughout the whole thing, I feel like Rey has been very guarded, and but later or more recently showed more vulnerability regarding his failings as a father. Even still, he didn't want to fight Dominik until last week. He had his epiphany or breakthrough as Dominik was being aggressive towards his mother and his sister, and Rey, of course, stood up to accept the challenge to fight. This is a really interesting card to me because it includes both the Aries and Sagittarius signs. Dominik is an Aries, Rey is a Sagittarius. And you see this person here kind of on fire and diving. I hope that the fire is just that this is going to be a fire match between these two. But
and not a dumpster fire.
and not a dumpster fire. I guess we'll look for a little bit more clarity about that. I also pulled Guilt and Sabotage. Clearly, Rey has been expressing his guilt. Where the sabotage is going to come in, we don't know if there might be some interference in the match. I could definitely believe it, either from the Judgment Day side or the Legado del Fantasma, which is now called the LWO, the Latino World Order. Throwback to Rey's WCW roots, which I think is a great way to come full circle. I mean, Rey's started out in WCW. He was just inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I think it would make sense to think that he's going to be retiring or at least drastically reducing his work now that he's gone into the Hall of Fame after this WrestleMania. So it's really cool to have brought that all the way around. And we also have this spy watching, inspecting. We're going to need a little bit more clarity about that one. So we're going to pull another deck. Do you have any thoughts on any of these?
I think you did great. Like, I agree with everything so far. I don't think it really tells who's winning or anything yet because you pulled both of their energies in that fire card. So I think it's still too early to tell. As I've stated, I think the spy watching card could possibly be the wife or Rhea, just because we see a feminine figure, even his daughter. Yeah, Aaliyah in it. So I think that spy watching, it doesn't have to be spy. It just could be someone watching, observing, right? And I definitely think that speaks to possibly the family. So, yeah, I think it's still too early to tell, but I think everything you said so far about the past, I think, like I said before, that their promos are very much to the chest, that a lot of things that we're hearing in the promos is true, and that's why there is some vulnerability with Rey because Rey's letting us into his personal family life that he's kept very guarded through the decades. Like,
right.
His family life has never been on display. Like, his personal life is, we don't see Rey's face. Like, Rey doesn't even show his face like that. Even at like events where you think he would show his face, he's been very guarded in private.
Sure. I can't 100% agree that he hasn't touched his family life because they did the whole Dominik paternity issue.
Thing, yeah, and I mean that was that. I'm not saying that one time, but yes.
Which again, this is really just a nostalgia callback of that whole trauma.
But yeah, regardless, he still keeps his private life. We've never heard Rey have a messy private life like a lot of people.
Right. I mean, of course, there was the news when.
Like, look at the Miz and Maurice. Like, that's a public life.
Sure.
Rey has kept a private life.
Yes.
We don't know anything about his wife. I can't even tell you her name.
Angie.
Well, I mean, Angie's been on TV recently again.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So I think good for him for keeping a lot of his life private. And I think
that
whenever
includes,
you expose your family is vulnerability to that.
Right. To your point, I mean, a man died in the ring with him, and it's not talked about. Yeah. Like that's how much his. If it didn't happen in the WWE, it does not exist for Rey Mysterio.
But Rey killed a dude in the ring.
And that's not allegedly. That happened.
That is a factual.
That's news.
That is a factual event that you can Google and look up on YouTube. While he was wrestling in Mexico, and somebody will say it's an accident. Yes, an accident that a guy still ended up dead.
Right, and it's in the Rey Mysterio biography on A&E.
Yes, even though they touched around it.
Yeah.
But I think he wears guilt of that. That's guilt too, and shame to some degree. That he takes pride, I'm sure, in his craft, and someone ended up hurt in the ring with him.
And again, none of this bringing that up is to shade Rey Mysterio. It's just to say that the information about him is tightly controlled.
Exactly.
That's all.
I love Rey Mysterio, and I love that he that he's such for the children, and like he's a child superhero, and I think it's dope because kids need that. He was John Cena before John Cena for the children.
Right. Let's pull some T cards. We've got the No Facts, the Boss Daddy, Dodging Bullets, Blocking Negativity, Escaping Crazy People, Protected by Haters.
Show that deck.
Oh, I will. The Inside Scoop, Reflecting.
That's that reminiscing.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Idol. hustling and played out. This is interesting because I think two things can be true here. Um, so we've just talked about, Ray really is in the twilight of his career. He's had a great career, like very decorated. And at this point, it's time for reflection. So yes, it's time to reflect and not only think about your past, but you see this mirror image here. I mean, I think that's Dominik is the newer version of Ray, or at least I'm sure Ray would like to see it that way. Um, Ray's absolutely an idol, both within the Mexican culture and among wrestling fans in general. And I think the quality of his work, he deserves it. He's also been in the business a long time now. Like Ray's work doesn't always hit the way it used to. Like I'm not gonna say, you know, he's he's old and slow and time for him to go, but maybe the business has just played out for him. That over the last 2 years he's gotten to accomplish so much with Dominik that now that he can check those boxes, yeah, he's probably ready to go. Um, what else do we have here? Inside scoop, a closer look, nosy up in your business. This is funny because we were just talking about how his personal life has stayed so closed off, and yet people are now
Prying the internet.
prying into that, right? People are looking for the facts. Probably some people are making things up. Dominik, whether he's just making things up in kayfabe or making things up in real life.
With his penitentiary run.
Oh right, yes, with this penitentiary run. Um, but between the A&E special and the storyline, yeah, man, maybe people are looking more closely. The dodging bullets, blocking negativity. I don't know. Like, is the storyline drawing this attention and drawing some real life heat to Ray? I don't know, but um, or on the other side, how much heat is it drawing for Dominik? Dominik's been a heat magnet since his heel turn. To some degree, he's been a heat magnet even as a babyface because he was green, he's rough in the ring, absolutely improving, but I don't doubt at all that Dominik's social media has some spears thrown in it. Whenever we're talking about WWE and we see the Boss Daddy card, our first thought is that it's Vince McMahon because he is the boss of the show. In this case, is this about Ray more so? I don't know. Usually because it's Vince making these decisions, and I'm sure it's Vince ultimately deciding who goes over in this match. I don't doubt that Vince's energy is still on this. And of course, hustling, focus on money, making it rain, getting it. Um, is that really Dominik? Is that Dominik's image? Is that Ray? What do you think?
I mean, I think Ray is hustling right now. LWO just came back. That's a hustle. They just bought back a faction that's been gone for years.
Yeah, about
That
25 years
that
probably.
Eddie created. So that's more Eddie pulling. They are hustling the Eddie Guerrero legacy to its core. Whether it's nostalgia or just, again, they are pulling for the Latin community, Latino community to come through hard. And I don't think it's going to translate well. The played out is Dami is not money. Dami is not money
He is
like
not
Eddie
money.
Guerrero. Dami is not money like his dad. He doesn't sell masks. He doesn't sell lit merch like Eddie. And he's not as good as Eddie.
Of course not.
Even at Eddie's age, he's not as good. And Eddie was once Dominik's age, so was Rey. And I've seen the videos, and it's no disrespect to Domi. He's not a natural. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have a natural calling to this business. With work, because is it possible he gets better? Yes. Has he gotten better in the ring? This is not Dominik hate. I don't want if Dominik sees this, I'm sure he's got enough critics that he doesn't care whether what I think he's good in the ring or not. But I think he has a lot of potential, and I think out of a lot of wrestlers that we see new to the business, he actually has improved.
For sure.
When you see him. And if you look at him from a year ago to now, even in the ring, he's improved. He's improved on the mic. He's still not great on the mic, but he's improved. And I think he could have benefited a lot from NXT. And I think there's a lot of people who thinks...
Yes, the fact that he got to skip the line.
Yes, and go straight into... I'm talking about top of WrestleMania, his first year.
Straight into WrestleMania.
It makes no sense to me. And I think he kind of played himself out with, like, I think a lot of people feel he's played out. Like, because he's running someone else's gimmick. And I think the played out is probably how a lot of people see Domi. That you're corny. Like, you're up here running someone else's gimmick. You're crapping on your dad while being Eddie Guerrero, and you're not even Eddie Guerrero's son.
Right.
It's weird.
The Judgment Day, by and large, is pretty badass. And Dominik is a clown character.
Yes. You gotta watch the language on YouTube. But Boss Daddy, I think, is still Vinny. I think Vinny is absolutely invested in this. Hence the comeback of the LWO. Hence Rey going into the Hall of Fame because it's in LA.
While he's still active.
It's the craziest thing. And it has Vince McMahon hand written all over it. I don't think this is Paul. I think this is Vinny. And I think based on the cards, there's a possibility that Rey wins this still. The inside scoop, I think, is people still looking. I think now that his life has become a lot more public, people are digging into Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
More than they probably would have ever had. The interest of now looking back into his life and story. So yeah, and I think people are looking for the facts. Like, is Domi really gone to jail or not? Or is Domi really this? Is Domi really...
Are Dominik and Rhea really together? No, they are not.
Right. No, they are not. Is Domi really Rey's son? Yes, he really is. He's not Eddie Guerrero's son, even though he's beating Eddie's legacy to death again. Rest Eddie Guerrero's soul, but there will never be another. And I've told Jude this. I kind of wish they would let his legacy rest for a while. I love Eddie. He has some of the littest merch. If y'all haven't checked out his merch on WWE.com, you should, because he has great merch. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like I think the same thing about Macho Man, but the difference is no one's coming out talking about Macho Man night after night. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think Domi needs to find a new gimmick and just try to be himself for a bit. But I think people think he's played out. I think a lot of older people think he's played out.
Yeah.
The younger gen, I notice on the comment section, find him funny. That this cheap on hard, because he's clowning himself.
Right.
But no one's going to take you serious. And I don't think him beating Rey is going to make anybody take him serious.
No.
Unfortunately, I don't. And I hate that for Rey. But I think this is what happens when you don't go to NXT. People are looking at him like he should have went to NXT.
Do you think...
There's something about skipping the line, I'm telling you. And I think that's why people respect Braun Breaker so much. It's because he went to NXT. Even if him getting the title, right? Even if him getting the title and holding it as long as he is because of his name. And so does Charlotte. But Braun Breaker is really good in the ring, and he's gotten a lot better under that NXT helm.
So, I mean, there are a few ways this match could go, and I'm not sure that at first glance I'm seeing anything here. I would like to think that there could be some great reconciliation during the match, where um, we've pulled the love card. That doesn't have to be romantic love, and the love affair again. This one really implies it's romantic love, dirty little secret, down low.
Which really makes me think of Rhea.
Which would make you think of Rhea. Um, could this match bring about a reconciliation between Rey and Dominik? Maybe even a face turn back for Dominik. Maybe they're like, let's pull the band-aid off this Judgment Day thing. We see here toxic, unhealthy behaviors in people. I mean, if anyone in the Judgment Day has been toxic, it's Dominik.
Mm-hmm.
Could this be a Rey doesn't have to defeat Dominik, but Rey's victory can be in, saving Dominik's character, for lack of a better word.
That's why I think you're pulling on the table, offer on the table, and writing. I think they might still be working on this, putting this together.
It's possible, but yes, I mean there's been a lot of work put into it, whether it's still going on or not. That we have the on the table offer, proposal, commitment. We've got the journal, writing diary, and keeping notes. This the lockbox, closed in, trapped, and frustrated. Like, does Dominik even love being in the Judgment Day?
Yeah, I wonder if he.
Because he's a joke.
I've said it that I don't think he's in love with his character.
Right.
It's been in his face a few times.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if he actually enjoys crapping on his dad.
That, and like you said, he's played out. He can't be completely naive to the fact that his character makes a fool of himself.
Yes.
He's
the butt of his own joke.
He's the butt of his own joke. And I would think if the son of a legend comes into the business, it's because he wants to be a part of the business. So maybe Dominik feels trapped in the Judgment Day, and this storyline could get his way out. Here we've got happiness, overjoyed, and smiling. I think the only way anyone ends up overjoyed and smiling at the end of this is if it's not a pinfall or submission victory, but it's an emotional victory of reconciliation. Recalling, reminiscing memories, and returning again. So, again, returning, bring Dominik back to the fold, back home.
Even the mother, that's possibly what the love is.
Yes.
Again, I think love affair can also mean family. It's when they say that all the time about family. It's a love affair. It's
Yeah, it's rocky sometimes.
Yeah. And it can be toxic.
And it can be toxic.
And it can be loving and joyous and happy.
Yes.
I think we definitely gonna get a lot of reminiscing.
Yes,
there will be a family.
There will be a 12-minute video package that will absolutely play in your bathroom breaks now. Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna watch that video package because little Dominik with his little spiky blonde hair was super cute. When he runs off and I
think a father-son story is sweet. And I just hate the character he's become for this. I don't know. I just wish he wasn't like Eddie Guerrero's fake son for this.
Yeah.
Anything else probably would have sold me on this. But the fact that they've really kept talking about Eddie in this, and then they brought back LWO, and I'm like, oh my god. I don't know.
I'm glad at least
But I think
that
Ray's
Conan
happy.
was in the building tonight
I,
for LWO.
oh yeah, but I definitely think Ray's happy though. Like I think Ray is going into Mania happy
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what happens. I think that's the happiness you see. He is happy with life right now, and that's good
Sure,
for
but
him.
you think even if he has to like
It doesn't matter.
pin Dominik
It
or
doesn't matter. I think he is floating on a Hall of Fame high and having his peers love him up because again, too often a lot of them don't live to see their Hall of Fames.
right,
Even though we say, oh, there's so many who are alive, but there's so many goats who aren't. So if you're blessed enough to be alive in this business as long as he's been in,
I tell you. And Ray looked great tonight. Like that tuxedo mask that he
look
had, he looked
great.
fantastic with the crown in the
He's
forehead.
worked hard for it. Now, I hope this reading doesn't sound like we don't respect Ray, because I respect and love Ray. I've never been a big Rey Mysterio fan like that. Like I've always loved and respect Ray, and I do enjoy his matches, but I've never been like a Rey Mysterio fan in that way, if that makes any sense. Like my guy was Eddie. I was always the heel. Like I admit it. I'm with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman says, like
Who wants to watch a good guy?
who wants to
Not
watch
me.
it? Not me. I've always loved heels, so I loved Eddie. But I also think Ray is giving so much to the business that I respect and love him. Like I say, I love watching him with the kids. I do.
That clip when
my
when
oldest
he's
son used
forehead
to
to
love him.
forehead to the little black boy,
Yeah,
and he's like, "I love you,
I
I
love
love
you.
you."
It's so cute.
So the second best "I love you" in WWE history.
It's so cute. He's like full freaking out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's bring this home. We're gonna use the Beauty Tarot deck, and I'm gonna draw another 8. I'm gonna just lay these out and then go back through them because there's a lot of text to look at here.
Oh, you might not even need that many of that.
Well, hey, we got them anyway. Oh, that one. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Two of Swords, stalemate, indecision, truce, crossroads, torn between two, denial, difficult choices. Honestly, I think that might be what I was just describing.
Yes, I think that's Dominic.
That's Dominik having this crisis of conscience and hopefully coming to a truce with his father.
Oh my God, the love affair might be Rhea trying to pull him back to the dark side on Judgment Day.
Right. The Knight of Pentacles, patience, slow progress, practical routine, hard work, conservative, methodical, grounded effort. Is that just the putting in the work in the business, or is that actually related to the match? I think.
No, I think that's Ray in general.
This could be, showing off a lot of hard work. Work, preparation, skill, mastery, commitment, hard work, details, craftsmanship.
Or the slow progress is Dominic.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like I think we're gonna see here
the teacher and the student.
The teacher and the student, exactly. Like Dominik gets to, this is his final exam. Like this is okay, Dominik. Can we take the training wheels off? Are you Dominik Mysterio or are you Rey's son? And I hope for his sake he comes out of it on the other side. Conflict, competition, tension, assertive struggles. Again, it's a trial by fire in the ring. Conflict, disagreements, defeat, betrayal, loss, victory through deceit, no win. Well,
oh my God, that thing might go to a DQ or some crazy crap. No. No. It said no win.
Yeah, no win. But it also says victory through deceit, and victory is a win. So I don't know. Expansion, confidence, success, happy with choices, relocation, receiving support in the big picture. I don't know, happy with choices.
Oof, that might be Dami.
And relocation, the big picture. New ventures, creative spark, potential, desire, new passion, willpower, inspiration. I think these two are actually Rey being ready to move on. Happy with your choices, relocation, new ventures, and reconciliation, old friends. Kindness, nostalgia. Again, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of coming home.
Not a full circle.
A lot of full circle.
So he may be passing the torch.
I think
there's the torch.
There's the torch.
I think we're passing the torch, and I think my prediction. I think Dominik wins. I think this is the passing of the torch. I think this is Ray and the wife living the good life. He's content. I mean, that's what them cards say. That's why I love that deck, the come home deck, because it kind of brings home some answers and clarity.
I think Rey makes his exit, and I think that there's some healing, and hopefully,
a lot of crying.
Hopefully, everyone goes home happy, and that is good crying.
Yes, I think it'll be an emotional exit, regardless of what happens.
Yes.
Even if he wins, the crowd is elated, and it's still emotional. Like, I didn't want to beat my son.
Yeah.
You know, come home, son. You know, and pick your head up, and you know, and it can play out like that.
I don't have an opinion about whose shoulders hit or if there is no win, but I do think that it's the passing of the torch, it's Rey's exit, and that there's the reconciliation. So I know I'll be watching tomorrow. And we've got some other matches to take a look at, and hope you check those out again.
Make sure you check out Wrestling T Tarot, our other previous videos, other predictions for WrestleMania 39.
For entertainment purposes?
All for entertainment
Just
purposes.
For fun.
This is all allegedly. Don't quote us, but I think we are both agreeing that Dominik wins and it's a passing of a torch. So make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, leave your comments down below. We would love to know who you think wins. Based on our reading, and we will be uploading videos all weekend, you guys. Today, tomorrow, and Monday. The aftermath, because the aftermath is going to be just as juicy. But we appreciate you being here, and we hope you will watch our other videos and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.